Pardon me? A little bit.
They had like 10 minutes to come up with, their first thought out of the box.
Okay.
The notion was that basically, either somebody was already doing it, or it was sufficiently modest in scope that maybe we would want to rethink it. They're going to have a couple of hours of free time, and then giving them one class off to discuss it in 2 weeks. But if you could provoke them along certain lines or in certain lines of thinking, that would be very helpful to me.
Okay, so I'll share the initiative that I'm working on with some community leaders, including Mike Wellman. And we're taking a look at how do you spur economic development and growth in South Jersey. And we're making it an issue because we continue to hear that thing about brain drain, which means you go to school here in South Jersey, you get your education, and you move on. I actually think it's a good thing, because if you move on, you're going to learn something and you can come back to South Jersey and bring something new. But if you stay, it's just the same business as usual. But what we realized was that between Atlantic City and the casinos closing, corporations closing, where are the jobs when you finally graduate with your 4-year degree? I don't know, you tell me. Have you thought about where you're going to work when you graduate? Not a lot of jobs in South Jersey. So we're saying, what can we do in South Jersey to create those jobs and opportunities for people that live here? We're looking at our anchor institutions, the anchor institutions being your healthcare providers and your educational arms, to come to the table, because we believe they have a responsibility that's called corporate social responsibility back into the community in which they serve. You attend their school, why shouldn't they invest in you as an employee? So with that, we've just actually pulled together a group of people to say, how do we start this initiative? So we're at the early stage, which is where you are, and you're in this class, and we're trying to articulate our envisioned future for South Jersey. To give you an example of what I'm referring to, North Jersey went through this same process, took itself through the federal process, and received a designation. Once they received that designation, they were able to attract millions of dollars to North Jersey. And my response to that is, what is South Jersey doing? You live here. Do you see any new businesses? Do you see any new growth? So if North Jersey can do it, why isn't South Jersey doing it? The second part that we realized, and you can jump in here if you want, Michael, was to say that South Jersey seems to be a part of everything and everywhere, and it doesn't have its own identity. And what I mean by that, it's a part of the Delaware Valley Planning Commission. It's a part of, what's the organization out of Philadelphia? Leadership, your Leadership New Jersey, but there's another leadership organization in Philadelphia. And they take credit for South Jersey. And when they apply for the funds, they write South Jersey in there. How many dollars come back to South Jersey? Even from a marketing perspective, what is it, the Greater Philadelphia, or the network that covers Gloucester, Philadelphia, Burlington? Select Greater Philadelphia. It says it represents South Jersey. I don't know about you, but I've never seen those dollars. So we're saying, how do we get those dollars here in South Jersey? And we want to make a difference by saying we want to create jobs and opportunities in South Jersey. We're being careful not to overestimate what we hope to accomplish. What we're hoping to accomplish out of this South Jersey initiative, one, possibly a regional CDC, which is a community development corp, that will focus on economic development. Branding South Jersey, because South Jersey really doesn't have an identity, does it? Please tell me, can you think of an identity that we have? I don't know that we have an identity, right? And the third one, we said branding, CDC, I can't remember, my mind is just going, but there's three prongs to all of this to say, how do we make it happen here in South Jersey? So what we're looking at is to seek funding, because we need money in order to do this, because I don't think any of us are going to write a personal check for this one. So it's about finding that seed money. And by finding the seed money, we know that we have to build the relationship, which goes back to networking. Being out there, talking about what we're trying to do, meeting with the key leaders who may just very well shut the door in our face. But at the end of the time, not being afraid to hear the no. Because remember I said an entrepreneur is a risk taker. So we're reaching out to the president of Rowan, president of Rutgers, Stockton, Virtua, Cooper, whomever. We need you to have a seat at the table because you're taking dollars in from all of us, or are you putting dollars back into the community, right? Building a hospital, building a school, they're great things, but are they really creating jobs for us? Or are they helping to solve some of the social problems that we have? And that's all we're tasking them to do, is try and solve some of those problems and to make an investment in solving those problems. At this time, we're currently meeting to really craft that vision statement. We have secured the services of Rutgers University. Phoebe Hatton has decided, the chancellor there, that she will be a convener. We will be meeting with Dr. Hushman to inquire if he will have a seat at the table as well. But we're saying to them, you have some responsibility. And it's not just about educating the students, it's about creating jobs for those students. So through this process, we know that we have to educate the funders because they are our funders. Yes, you know that Rowan gives out a lot of money, right? Doesn't Rowan support a lot of causes in the community? We're saying, stop writing that sponsorship check. Stop writing that marketing check. Take those dollars and invest in creating jobs in South Jersey. As we're going through the process and talking to funders, we have to be very careful because funders have this demigod approach sometimes. When they give you a little money, they want to try to tell you what to do. They totally forget. It's not their idea. They're giving the check, they're getting the tax write-off, and with a little help, they might get some marketing benefits out of it. But remember, it's the entrepreneur's idea that wants to make something happen, so you have to be really careful when you're working with your funders because they'll try and make you have indicators and measurements that have nothing to do with your project. So you have to be really careful when you request the money. What I keep finding is that when they're making their decisions to give out that money, they just look at proposals, a letter of inquiry. They don't respect what you're saying to them because they're the experts. And we've all experienced that, right? Where the other person on the other side of the table think they're the expert. As I say to you, my job for me in my life every day, try to figure out something new I can learn. Because if there's nothing new for me to learn, what's my purpose of being here? Because if you're learning something, you're constantly growing. If you're not learning anything, you become stagnant. So we have to educate these funders, investors about what needs to happen in South Jersey.